All right. Hello, this is Chris Ott, and I'm going to do a short video on the subject, where is Baba now? Meher Baba is what I'm referring to, or really any avatar after he parts. Where does he go? Now this, of course, is not my teaching. I don't have a teaching. Well, I have my philosophical ideas. I teach them. But this is Meher Baba, what Meher Baba says. It's his teaching. And I'm just reporting what he teaches. Now, this question, where is Baba now, is kind of a common question that people ask. They consider it to be a deep question. I never thought it was very deep. You simply need to read in his books what he says happens to a fully enlightened master or the avatar when he dies or drops his body, parts the world. Okay, so to explain this, I have to turn to the section in his primary book, God Speaks, and the section is called The 10 Primary States of God. And this isn't a lesson in those 10 states. That's not what I'm covering. But God for Meher Baba is in 10 states, so that when you have a soul in evolution, say, like a bird or an animal, that's actually God in a particular state. It's one of the 10 states. Or if you have a regular human being going about his life, that's God in another state. Or you have a person who's on the planes, what he calls the planes, that's called involution in his book. And that's another state, one of the 10 states. And of course, there's the original primal state. And of course, there's the goal, which is one of the states in the 10 states of God, the goal for the soul. Okay? So, without going through the states, the first state is called God in the beyond state. I'll give a link where you can download Baba's book, God Speaks, and then you can look for the chapter on the 10 primary states of God, and you can read it yourself, and then it explains what this means. God in the beyond state. Sorry, this pen's not thicker, but anyway, that's all I can do for the moment. And then state 2 is the one we're going to talk about. This is God in the beyond state. Okay, so this is, and then there's of course eight more states, okay, that he lists. But this is the important one. Why did this is beyond state of God. God in the beyond state. So he's like beyond the illusory states of evolution and reincarnation and even the planes. He's totally enlightened. This is the enlightened state. Now, this beyond state of God has 3 substates, A, B, and C. The first one is God without any attributes. Okay, it's like just it's the state that you experience when you go to sleep and you're in deep sleep. It's God without attributes. You're actually in the beyond state of God. Okay, so let's just call it deep sleep. That would be a good thing to call it, but it doesn't mean enlightened. It just means deep sleep. Okay? We all experience that whenever we go to sleep. Even animals experience this state 2A. All right, when they sleep. When they're in deep sleep, not when they're dreaming. And I'm going to skip this, but this is state C, is the state of God that is a fully enlightened, God-realized human being in a physical body. So it would be Jesus or Upasni Maharaj or Meher Baba, a fully enlightened, God-realized human being in a physical body is state C. And that's actually, in a way, the highest state. It's so perfect because that's the God, that's the real personal God. That's the God you can get on an airplane if he's in the world, and you go visit him and ask him questions and talk to God. But that's the only God that there is on this plane of existence that we live in. So let's just call this I'm going to put Jesus when he's alive in the body. Okay? Or Baba. All right, when he's alive in the body. In form. It has to have a physical body or it's not state C. Now, when the perfect master drops his body at the end of his life, when his mission is complete, he then goes into state 2B. And this is where Baba is now. And he also calls this the resting place of the masters. Okay? And he doesn't get a rest and come back. He's gone for good, except the avatar. But the avatar has to be pulled down by the living perfect masters. That's for another story, another day. Now, this is not, this state, an ascended master, as in theosophy. Okay? This is a state of experience of self, or the oneness, where God experiences reality. Now, reality, in Baba's teaching, is not the world. The world is an illusion. So when the avatar drops his body, the reason it's his eternal rest is because he does not have to experience any of the aspects of the universe, what he calls the gross, which means physical things, subtle, energetic things, and mental, like thoughts and suffering and worries. And he ceases to experience those, which are actually illusion anyway, and he experiences self. So self experiences self only, okay? He does not experience the illusion. So when we talk to a master who's no longer with us, and we ask him for favors and we tell him about our problems, he can't hear you because he experiences only self. And while he has infinite power, knowledge, and bliss, he doesn't use them in this state. Because how could he use them? He doesn't even know there's a universe to use them on. But still he experiences the power, knowledge, and bliss, but he doesn't use them. And he experiences sort of God, experiences the oneness of God, and enjoys the bliss of that experience, and does not experience the sort of the world of illusion that has both suffering and happiness. He's beyond that. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. And why this is important is that, according to Baba, these teachings, like ascended master teachings and channeling ascended masters, is all bogus. That's an important implication at this point. Thank you very much. That's the answer to where is Baba now. I should say one more thing. One time a person said, is there really such thing as Shambhala, which they talk about in Hinduism, the resting place of the masters? And he said, yes, but understand that planes or states of consciousness are not places. And he says, yes, there is. But in Hinduism, it's called Vijnana, but it's the state I just described. All right, thank you very much. Bye-bye.